In this episode, I'll be discussing the first 5 creation days. As I've stated previously, how could God claim He gave all His children free will and then interfere when they exercised it? Remember what Jesus told His disciples in John 14:30? I will not talk with you much longer because the ruler of this world is coming. He has no power over me. Why would God's Son say that Satan was the ruler of this world if it weren't true? If it is true, then shouldn't the Bible give the answers as to how this happened? It does. But not everyone takes the time to understand that Satan is a very powerful angel, a son of the dawn. He's not dumb. When in the spirit realm, before the creation of the physical universe, Satan was already voicing his opposition to God to other spirit beings. God also knew who those individuals were. This is best explained in Revelations chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. So God gave them the proverbial rope to hang themselves, which gave them a sense of power. Under Michael's direction and within God's environmental guidelines, he tasked Satan and the angels that followed him with the 6 days of creation on earth, if not the entire physical realm. But I will confine it to the 6 days of creation here on earth. Now, remember, God's taking the credit for creation because this is His plan. Genesis 1 through 2 has been read before, but I'll break it down as we go. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth refers to the universe. The second verse describes the conditions on earth before the beginning of the first day of creation as being formless and empty. Still, it says that the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, not that God was here, but that His Spirit was about to be used to prepare the earth for habitation. Let's read verses 3 through 5. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was an evening, and there was a morning, the first day. If God in the beginning created the heavens and the earth, wouldn't there have already been light in the universe? Yes, and that's one scripture that helps us to understand that the 6 days of creation were about the earth, not the universe. The earth was formless. It had no atmosphere conducive to the existence of living things. As we see from other planets today, there are gases and other materials in their atmospheres that block out light also. The first day of creation, 7,000 years, was spent preparing the Earth's atmosphere to support life. That was the end of the first day. So let's begin our hunt for the possibility that under Satan's control, he could have planted fake evidence on the first day. Today, we have what are called out-of-place artifacts, op arts. This is what the website allthat'sinteresting.com had to say about op arts. Out-of-place artifacts, or op arts, are objects that appear to contradict our understanding of technological development in ancient civilizations. These historical oddities have captivated public imagination for decades, spawning countless theories about advanced prehistoric technology, ancient aliens, and lost civilizations with sophisticated engineering capabilities. You can explore these op arts on their website, including the Antikythera mechanism, the Sabu disk, and many others. But I want to continue to see how these objects were here long before modern man. The answer is Satan and his angels. The first creation day of 7,000 years would have been the start of Satan's planting his false evidence on earth to distract our generation away from seeking God. I say that because these items were found fairly recently. Planting modern items designed before modern man appeared makes it seem as if aliens could have been involved in establishing life on Earth. Let's move to the second day of creation, Genesis 1 6 through 8. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. God called the vault sky, and there was evening, and there was morning the second day. Why would God want the earth to have this type of atmosphere, water above and water below, in its early development? Let's ask the AI overview why this would have been important. Significant water vapor in early Earth's atmosphere would have acted as a massive greenhouse effect, trapping heat and potentially creating a runaway greenhouse scenario similar to early Venus. This water vapor would act as a positive feedback, raising temperatures, increasing evaporation, and keeping the planet extremely hot. Now, I'll ask AI what happened to the Earth under this type of environment. Significant water vapor in early Earth's atmosphere was conducive to the development of early life, particularly photosynthetic algae and bacteria, by facilitating the formation of oceans, reducing solar heat, and allowing photosynthesis, while a dense, humid environment helped early aquatic plants thrive. True land plants did not appear until much later. That scripture, 6 through 8, is telling us that on the second creation day, which was a 7,000 long year process, there was a separation of the two bodies of water, one below, one above, and the section dividing these two bodies of water was the sky. The purpose? For life to begin in the form of algae and bacteria in our oceans. Does modern science agree with that? AI overview. Yes, scientists broadly agree that bacteria and similar microbes were among the first living things on Earth, appearing roughly 3.5 to 3.8 billion years ago. As I've said, this is Satan's world to do with as he wants to distract us away from God. So, man's timeline of how old things are is also under his control, but people are free to believe what they choose. Every hypothesis presented by man is a theory as to what happened on Earth and how long it took. If you want, I'm presenting another hypothesis from a biblical perspective. I'll be sticking with what I believe God is stating in the Bible, not man's ideas of how long it took. This second day of 7,000 years is when Satan will later have it said that evolution began, and that would debunk the creation process on earth by God. Moving on to the third day of creation, Genesis 1 9 through 13. And God said, let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear. And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and he gathered the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees on the land that bears fruit with seed on it, according to their various kinds. And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kind, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was an evening, and there was a morning, the third day. The gathering of water into one place and the appearance of a landmass sounds like what scientists call Pangea. I asked AI, was there a time on Earth when there was a massive vegetation growth? Yes, the Carboniferous period, roughly 359 to 299 million years ago, was a time of immense plant-wide forestation. Massive swamp forests covered vast areas of supercontinents, creating high oxygen levels and forming the extensive coal beds that are mined today. Key aspects of this period: dominant flora. The forests were primarily composed of giant, non-flowering plants like club moss and ferns. Giant insects. Due to the high oxygen content, insects grew to massive sizes, such as dragon-like insects with 2-foot wingspan and 1.5-meter-long millipedes. Coal formation. These dense forests grew in tropical swampy conditions and did not decompose quickly, eventually accumulating into massive coal deposits, leading to the name Carboniferous. Environmental impact. This period was crucial in lowering atmospheric carbon dioxide and significantly raising oxygen, shaping the modern environment. In the future, Satan would use this day to make it seem as if God made mistakes concerning massive insects and other flora that no longer exist. But it was an essential 7,000 years for the earth to become habitable by all kinds of life forms. Next, the fourth creation day. Genesis 1:14 through 19. And God said, there will be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and to let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, and days, and years, and let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. And it was so. God made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light to the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good, and there was an evening, and there was a morning, the fourth day. This is about the rotation of the earth stabilizing, and the sun, the moon, and the stars becoming visible from earth. The effects they would have on the season that regulate the regrowth on this planet, and the effects they would have on all living things to come. This is not about God creating the universe again. That was done in the beginning, as stated in verse 1. But it is used to cast doubt on God's plan by making it seem inconsistent. Moving on to the next 7,000-year period, the fifth day of creation. Genesis 1:20 through 23. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures. Let the birds fly above earth across the vault of the sky." So God created the creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems, and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the waters in the sky, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was an evening, and there was a morning, the fifth day. I found this about early ocean life in the Smithsonian website Ocean Through Time. The first ocean life forms were microscopic, so small they would be invisible to the naked eye. Later, bizarre alien-like creatures reigned supreme. Even creatures more familiar to us like sharks, whales, and octopuses have long and storied past with ancestors very different from the creatures now roaming the seas. That concludes 35,000 years of creation days preparing the earth for habitation. Next comes the final and most revealing day, showing in detail how God will allow free will through unselfish love to be challenged.